welcome to Nail Theory, covered by Trieu London. Before I go into the course itself, I'd like to say a few things. So first of all, throughout the free series of the course, we do have a workbook which you can download at a reduced discount price. The link will be available in the bio below. If you do have your own notes, then you can also follow that. And this course is generally for any level 2 equivalent nail diploma course. It also does overlap with other beauty courses. So I hope you do find it useful. We then have who's the video is actually for. So it's for any potential beauty and nail technicians. So if you're interested in possibly becoming a nail technician and you're not sure what's needed, you have the practical but also theory. It's also for self-taught nail technicians. So a lot you find in the industry, there are a lot of nail technicians that actually can do amazing manicures, pedicures, but don't actually know enough about nail diseases or skin disorders. It's also for experience of graduating nail technicians who might complete the course, but it's been a while, they've forgotten some of the theory behind it and just want a refresher. I also believe the series and the videos that Trieu London will cover will be beneficial to salon owners or business owners, since it does walk through how to effectively communicate with clients, how to work well in a team, retail specific legislation, and then last but not least, anyone with just any interest in nails beauty. I'll just quickly run over the course breakdown. So in the first series, with the first few videos, it will be the foundations. So that includes laws, reception duties, how to work in a team, health and safety, and hygiene. Second series will focus and be a bit more technical on healthcare for nails and skin. So you look into contraindications, skin disorders, nail disorders, and nail diseases. And finally, it gets slightly more technical, where you start learning about the structure of the nail and bones and muscles in the arm and hand. So let's get started. Trieu Nails Foundation. So in today's video, we'll be covering just professional standards of practice and hygiene. It'll be a short video, and we'll swiftly move on to the other subtopics. So the way I'll lay out all the videos is that you have notes here. At any point in time, you can freeze or pause the video and take more specific notes if you feel like you've missed something or there's something important that you really want to know and read through. And if you do have the workbook, then you can simply notate as I also notate. So I'll simply highlight over what I think is important, and we'll just go like that. So professional standards and practice. Within the beauty industry, a professional code of ethics should be followed at all times to ensure the highest of standards. You must build trust and confidence with every client, and by following the code of practice, you will build that confidence. It's essential that your personal appearance and presentation is immaculate, and you also have the responsibility for yourself and your client to ensure adequate public and product liability insurance at all times. So what does it mean to have good professional standards in terms of the workplace? That means all professional information given to you by your client must be kept in confidence, so secret or private under the Data Protection Act. You need to respect other professions, so refer them to a GP where needed. Only treat them when they actually come back with a GP referral letter. Never poach another therapist, as in another therapist's client, or criticize their work openly. Protect clients' modesty at all times and keep up to date with general knowledge. On a more personal level, you'll need to have your hair tied back neatly, clean short sleeved uniform, jewelry to be removed, professional presentation at all times, and also personal hygiene levels to be kept at professional level. If you don't have those hygiene standards, then you could invalidate your personal or business insurance. So some basic rules for hygiene: hands should be washed thoroughly after each client. You should follow the health and safety rules and regulations. Use spatulas to dispense products from pots and other fingers. Where possible, always use disposable items, whether that be a paper couch cover, wooden spatulas, or protective gloves. Wash all linen and at temperatures of at least 60 degrees. Provide a client with a clean linen and towel. Ensure cups are cleaned thoroughly before each client. Dispose in a waste bin that is actually closed, so not just an open bin but a closed bin. And keep your fingernails short and clean. Obviously on this point, depending on what kind of service you're providing, if it's nail art with acrylics, then you do want to promote your own nails, then do so, but make sure it's quite practical. So the reason for all these basic hygiene points is to prevent cross-infection, cross-contamination. And why that happens, why does cross-infection and cross-contamination happen? Unclean hands, contaminated implements and tools, shared items not being washed properly, and contact with infected skin. So to avoid this, you should always check for the client's contraindications to the treatment. We'll come on to this word contraindication, but for now, it basically means any situation where you cannot go ahead with the treatment. More of this will follow in Series 2 on healthcare and skin care. Sorry, healthcare for nails and healthcare for skin. You should always ensure you have basic hygiene procedures. Dispose of all waste products in a sealed bag or bin. Use disposable equipment where possible. So we're going to sanitization. So this is where the destruction of some but not all microorganisms. I think that's important. So some, that's the main word here. And it's suitable for tools that do not, I'll make that bold, do not come into contact with blood, tissue, or fluid. So there's two main ways of sterilizing. So you've got sanitizing fluid or barbicide, and this is usually mixed with water in a glass container. It must be disposed with care and must be changed regularly. The second method of sterilizing is the ultraviolet cabinet or UV cabinet. This method takes about 30 minutes and it's good for items that cannot be washed. Hand sanitizer gel is also available. So these are two methods of sterilizing, sanitizing. And you then have sterilization. So the difference between sanitizing and sterilizing is that it destructs all living organisms. It's for tools mainly that come into contact with blood or tissue. It must be sterilized. So it's definitely more thorough. There's two main methods. So you have an autoclave. This is almost like a closed pressure cooker that raises heat to an extreme temperature, which then kills off all the microorganisms. And then you have the glass bead sterilizer, which again uses dry heat, and it should be switched for at least 30 minutes. It then kills off all the microorganisms. So that's for sterilizing. Now, contagious conditions. To avoid cross-contamination, it's important to minimize risks by actually recognizing the condition before you come into contact with it. So there's four main contagious conditions. You have viruses. So it's things like cold, flu, cold sores, shingles, warts, hepatitis. And the virus is basically a tiny germ that only survives in living cells. Number two, you have bacteria. So single cell organisms that multiply very quickly. For example, impetigo, conjunctivitis, which is on your eye, and then you have stye, which is when there's a small boil at the root of your lashes. The third contagious condition is fungus. So it's basically yeast or mold. And common examples of ringworm. So it's like a red circle, it's quite itchy, and fleas foot. The fourth contagious condition is infestation. So it's invasion by small animal parasites living off human blood. The most common is head lice, and then you also have scabies. So that's a quick video that we've covered on basic hygiene and professional standards and practices. In the next video, we will be covering preparation of the work area and health and safety. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. So thank you for watching. Please comment, subscribe, and share.